Hello, friends. How are we all doing? I hope we're doing well. This is chapter 15. There's more sightseeing, obviously. We have to go to Disney World, because of course we do. Or Euro Disney, I'm sorry, because we're in Europe. It's all different. I'm sure it actually is different, but, it's Norman, so... I distinctly get the impression that a lot of the times when he's talking about these places, it's either because he wanted to go there or has been there, and he just wants to talk about places he's been. In which case, why not just write a memoir? Why are we doing this? But there's a more important note to address. First, a minor note. I want to tell you how Norman writes the phrase, uh-huh. And if you think about it, I'm not going to tell you how to spell it. Think about it in your mind. Just, uh-huh, right? So you know how everyone else in the world spells it. How it's very colloquial. Norman spells it the following. U-N space H-U-N-H. Unhunna. Unhunna. This is a minor note, and the reason we're focusing on a minor note is because we want to focus on the major note now, which is, according to this book, Theresa caused global warming. I can't make this shit up. So when she made it summer all year long, big shock, that fucked with the natural order of things, and now there's like ice caps melting, and the ocean temperatures are rising, and everybody's like worried that we're all gonna die. So, Empress Theresa caused global warming. Oh my god. I can't fucking believe. Okay. So, now, there's a couple things we've learned from this. For some reason, their answer to it raining all the time, because it's just raining all the time now, is that Steve got fireman's helmets. That'll, you just put that on, and now you're not, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, yes, kind of. Firefighters' helmets are designed to kind of help with the whole, you might get covered in water a lot. But then again, so is like the big fucking coat. But it's also thermic protection. So, but in Norman's description here, you just need the helmet. Like, if it's raining, hey, you put this helmet on, you fine. You're not going to get wet. That isn't how anything works at all. But he just really wanted to put that in there so that he could put in this wonderful note. There were optional shields with the names of major American cities. I chose a New York shield for my helmet in honor of the 220 firefighters who died in the 9/11 disaster. Fucking why, Norman? Why are you doing that? There's just this makes no sense. There is no reason to bring up 9/11, and there it is. It's fucking there. I don't even know what the fuck, man. And then he talks like they wear them out, and they're a smash hit. The English people had never seen them in real life. They oohed and awed, as if American firefighters are like mythical fucking creatures. There are no firefighters in the rest of the world, just in America. Marvel at their splendor! Marvel, damn you! What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, so yes, in order to fix the fact that Theresa caused global warming, I'm trying to find the... I don't note these things. I just kind of flip through to the parts that I remember. I probably should note it, but it's Empress Theresa, so fuck it. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of traveling. We're going to traveling. And then Steve quote, Steve explained what he wanted Arthur to do. It's not good to have it rain all the time. The world will turn into a fungus garden. Really? Take this chessboard to the Prime Minister and tell him he can control the number of columns by removing the chess pieces. We will see if it works when the board is away from here. It should. We have to make sure before Theresa and I hit the road again. So, Theresa's big thing about building columns of water, and I left this out from discussing it because it's shockingly boring, is that she has a chessboard, and if you remove certain pieces, the water columns stop, and if you put them back, they start up again. That's it. That's the big thing. That's what they're referring to. It really doesn't matter. Like, there's no point in explaining it further than that, except for the fact that this implication that if you take it away and someone else does it, it will work, like every other implication in this book, that's right. So, what we have learned here, I don't think Norman intended this, but what we have learned here is that Theresa's not really godly or has any kind of godlike powers. She just wrote a program, and then someone else can modify the program, and it'll work. Theresa has as much godlike powers as as fucking John Carmack, and the London people who are now in charge of this are basically the Quake modding community. Like, what is the fucking point? What is the point of having these amazing powers if literally anybody can control them by taking a piece of hardware? This is the equivalent of having, okay, Superman has powers, but if you take, like, his glasses, oh, golly gosh, man, now you got all of Superman's powers. I mean, I realize that's a thing with a lot of superheroes, and you can do that kind of argument with a lot of things, but usually there's, like, a caveat, like a catch. You can't just have the Green Lantern ring, you kind of have to know what the fuck you're doing, and they're a little coded to the person who's wearing them. This is literally just a chessboard. Any chessboard. At all. That she just has, which also raises a bunch of questions, because it's brought to, like, a place in London where a bunch of the people are going to pour over it so they can control, so I guess London now controls the Earth's water. Cool. I don't, alright, I guess that's a thing. Pretty sure there'll be a lot of people who kind of get mad about that, but I guess that's why they're doing it in secret, so okay, I'll give you that. But here's my question, if you bring this thing to this place, right? And if you take these pieces off, the water stops. How'd they get it there without knocking any of the pieces off? Was it just like two guys, like, carrying it like a fucking sheet of glass, like in a comedy movie where they're just like, "Whoa, don't shake it, we'll ruin the earth." Like, is that really the best idea, to go moving around the thing that's literally controlling the water flow of the entire planet? Is it really the best idea to just go jostling that around all around London, just, for fucking shits and giggles? Is that really a good idea? Well, Norman says it is, so I guess it must be. So, then we find this wonderful thing. Dr. Harold, just Dr. Harold, is an expert in meteorology, and Dr. Harold says that whatever Hal did to the wind, it's going away. Which means she doesn't actually have to solve the problem of how she stopped the wind, which we're not clear on how that happened in the first place. But yeah, there's that. But this is their this is their explanation. Quote, "We speculated on how Hal stopped the wind. He had to add something to the air." Add something. something that would increase the air's viscosity to drain away the effect of pressure differentials. Perhaps these were strings of dark matter particles too small to detect, but large enough to entangle with each other and increase air viscosity. We now have evidence that Hal put something like this in the air. Do you ever have that moment where you're watching like a sci-fi movie, usually like a really bad one, and somebody just talks about random mumbo-jumbo that doesn't actually mean anything? Some random fucking bullshit. It's usually referred to as just like tech talk, things that don't actually mean anything, but they sound important. Magic movies and fantasy movies do this. Movies that have anything to do with computers or hackers tend to do the same thing. There's just a lot of like, you know, like, I have to use the Linux swap to access the BIOS system, and then I can operate the hard drive's parameters. That doesn't mean anything, but it sounds like it means something. That is exactly what this was. That doesn't mean anything, but it sounds like it means something. So, yeah, okay, I'll give you that, because it just means that you really didn't think out what was going to happen. And the only reason that works in, like, a media sense, like in a movie or a TV show or something like that, is because a lot of times there's people who won't seriously recheck this over and over. I mean, now they can, because, you know, it's the internet. But at the time, you could get away with that. But you really wouldn't do that in a book, because usually the people who are reading will check that information. They'll search that against something and they'll look it up. Do you see where I'm going with this? I'm certain you do. So yeah, this then turned to she has to fix the planet back to the way it was. Because, quote, with the Earth's declination being reduced 5 degrees by January, the oceans will overheat, causing constant hurricanes all over the planet. While the return of ordinary wind is slow, the effect and formation of hurricanes will be much greater for reasons too complicated to get into. Too complicated to get into. Those hurricanes will be horrific, sir. Theresa caused global warming. That's what we learned from this chapter. There's a chessboard that controls the water. She really likes going on road trips. Norman can't write the word uh-huh. And Theresa caused global warming. That is the gist of what we have learned. Okay. I don't know how she's supposed to be the greatest character ever, even though Norman continues to tout that she is. Not taunt. It's the wrong word. That she's the greatest character ever. And that she is just the most wonderfulest, most amazing, most bestest ever, period. But Theresa caused global warming. I just want you to remember that, okay? That's going to be our conspiracy theory from now on. Hashtag Theresa caused global warming. Fucking, I can't even anymore. This book has completely gone off the fucking rails. I eventually knew it would, and the earlier chapters are boring as dirt. But my god, now that we've completely fucking lost it, it's become so much better. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I don't really know what else to say. I'm excited to get to the next chapter because holy fucking shit, this is about to get weird. Thank you everybody for watching, and a special thanks to my Moonfriendio Babbsy-kun for, well, being that. If you would like to donate to my Patreon and maybe even join this tier, you can do that by going to, well, Patreon. And if you have your own story you'd like to send in, you can send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. And I also have a merch store if you'd like to buy something there. The links to all that and more are in the description down below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!